Hi everyone, this is Frank, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing 5 tips that are going to help you first-time home buyers when purchasing your first property. And I know as a first-time home buyer, I've worked with plenty of them. I know how frustrating and stressful and exciting and all these emotions rolled into one when it comes to buying your first home. I understand how this whole process is and how it can be overwhelming for you. That's why I created this video, because I want to share with you 5 tips I think are so important that if you follow and understand, can only make this whole process of buying a home for the first time easy and as stress-free as possible. For the first step, we want to make sure we get pre-qualified. And this is so important because I see the mistake that a lot of first-time home buyers make is that they know the exact property they want to get, they know the location, the kind of home, the driveway that the size of the driveway they want, the pool, neighborhood, whatever, okay? Any sort of, they know everything to the detail of the kind of property they want, only to discover that they cannot afford that home in the neighborhood they desire, and that is frustrating and disappointing. I don't want you to go through that. So before you even start thinking about the kind of home that you want, get pre-qualified, because when you get pre-qualified with a major lender, what that lets you know when you're pre-qualified is the amount of money you can acquire or the financing you can acquire to purchase that property based on your financial standing. So once you're pre-qualified, you have a number, you have a budget that you can work with, so then you can use that number and what you can afford to start looking at properties that you want to live in the neighborhoods that are desirable for you. Which leads then to my next step, is that once we want to start beginning to think about what kind of properties we want to live in, and that means start to go to open houses. And I know sometimes as a first-time buyer, maybe you're reluctant to want to work with an agent because, I know sometimes agents, they have the commission breath and you don't want to, you're concerned about working with a salesperson. But this process is important because you want to start interviewing agents in the properties that you like or you think you would see yourself living in. And in this process, then you get to talk to agents, you get to see properties and neighborhoods for yourself, and it gives you a very good idea of what you're looking for, so that when you are ready and you know what you want, then that's when you can start working with an agent, which leads to step 3, or tip 3, is that you want to work with a great real estate agent. And again, going to open houses, you can interview agents and you can see if there's a good rapport. You can see if you get along with that agent, if they're knowledgeable, experienced, and also have expertise in working with first-time home buyers like yourself, and also have the patience to work with first-time home buyers, because I know sometimes this is your first time doing this and you may have a lot of questions. You're not sure what to expect since this is your first time buying a home. That's why you want to make sure you have the right agent working for you and who has experience working with first-time home buyers. So my 4th tip is understanding the kind of market that we are in. And that's working with the right agent who can explain to you the kind of market we're in, or at least in that specific location you're in. Because whether you're in a buyer's or seller's market, understanding the difference between the two can be a huge advantage for you when you decide to put in an offer. Because knowing whether or not you're in a buyer or seller's market can help you craft an offer that can make you very competitive in getting your offer accepted, while also getting the most bang for your buck. So if there's a buyer's market, quite simply, tons of inventory. It's much more competitive for home sellers because there's not enough buyers, okay, and there's too much inventory out there. So home sellers have to be much more competitive and also enticing for buyers to submit an offer in a property. So that is great for you as a buyer because that means you have much more negotiating power and leverage and much more inventory to choose from. And when I talk about leverage, that means in a buyer's market, you can negotiate more on the offering price or the asking price. And also, you can ask for concessions, just like, for example, asking the seller in the contract to pay for a portion of the closing costs, things like that. It gives you much more leverage when you're submitting an offer. Now, if we're in a seller's market, that's a different animal altogether because we have too much demand and not enough supply or inventory of homes to meet that demand. And we've seen this the past couple of years in this robust seller's market where home prices were going up almost about 20% a year, which was unheard of. I think it was the highest rate of increase of home prices, I think, since that data was being recorded. So in a seller's market, not enough inventory, too much demand. So as a buyer, that gives you or puts you at a disadvantage because you're competing with so many other buyers out there. So that's what it's so important to work with the right real estate agent, because ultimately you want that agent, when it comes to submitting an offer on a property that you like, to have a conversation with the listing agent of that home and see what is motivating the seller. What is motivating them? What are they looking for with a great offer? And having that information for you when it comes to submitting an offer. It's going to give you a huge advantage because you know what the seller is looking for, and that's going to help your offer stand out from the others if you're in a multiple bid situation. So very important. It's having that knowledge and information before you submit an offer, and that all starts with understanding the kind of market that you're in, whether you're in a buyer's or seller's market. So finally, the fifth tip is that when submitting an offer and your offer is accepted, very important to do a home inspection. So important, because I know you want to get into the property and maybe you were concerned with adding a home inspection clause to the contract because you're concerned that the sellers are going to be turned off by that and your offer was going to get rejected. So you want to make sure you do a home inspection. That's so important because it protects you in the event that there's underlying physical issues with the property, whether there's roofing damage or the roof needs to be replaced, there's plumbing issues, etc. You want to make sure you do the home inspection because there are things that maybe you didn't notice when you were previewing the property for the first time. And also it's important because, as I said before, in the event there's something wrong, you can back out of the agreement and it protects you in the transaction itself when you do the home inspection. So important to do that. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We can watch all my video tours on homes in the Tampa Bay area and beyond, and all my videos discussing the real estate market, the economy, etc. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.